done the bare minimum of running a spell check. It is giving second book syndrome severely. Where's the scenes? Where's the action? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Especially if you're new here, welcome. I'm Katerina. In today's video, we are doing episode 1 of me attempting to finish every book series that I am currently in the middle of. Which currently I'm in the middle of 18 series with an additional 4 or 5 series that I haven't even started yet. Once upon a time, when books were coming out, I used to read series consecutively in a row, but now like with so many books coming out, so many different genres I want to try, I just don't sit down and binge an entire series anymore. We're going to be picking up some really fun books. I'm hoping to get through a few series, maybe finish one of them, who knows. And the first book I'm hoping to pick up and get to is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the second book to the Powerless trilogy. I really enjoyed Powerless. I gave it a 5-star, which is really crazy for me to give a YA fantasy, but I just loved it so much. And so I'm hoping that Reckless is going to be just as good and see kind of where it goes with the second book in this series. The next book is actually one that I'm already currently reading. I'm 50 pages in. I don't know why I didn't start with this one. I think it was just because it was in my pile of books, but that is Tough Guy by Rachel Reed. This is the third book in the Game Changers series. And you're probably thinking, Kat, these can be read as standalones. And yes, you are correct. They could be read as standalones. However, after talking to many other people, there are just too many Easter eggs between book 1 and book 6 that I have been recommended to read all of them consecutively in a row. So I am reading this as if it is a chronological series. So I am 50 pages in, and I will give you my thoughts on it as we continue reading it. And then if I do finish those two and I have time, I do want to pick up another one, and that is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. This is the second book in the Secret of the Niles duology. The first one is What the River Knows. I loved What the River Knows. I ended up reading it at the beginning of January, and I loved the archaeology, the Egyptology, the mention a little bit of history in the background. I love that it takes place in the 1880s, and I love that it takes place in Egypt. So very interested, and I'm hoping to pick this one up as well. But these are the books that I'm hoping to get to, and of course we're going to be starting off with Tough Guy by Rachel Reed. For a reading update, I am 218 pages into Tough Guy, and there's only 300 pages in this book. The series is such a fun, easy series to pick up. I'm enjoying all of the characters. I'm enjoying the hints of our other characters from other books. I'm enjoying the main characters themselves. The biggest thing that I'm really enjoying about this book, though, is the mental health representation that we get in our main character, Ryan Price. This one specifically follows Ryan Price and Fabian Sala, I believe is his last name. Obviously, Ryan is a hockey player. Fabian is an inspiring musician, and their chemistry is just so beautiful. And so Ryan is going through a lot, and we're getting a lot more of character dynamic and character development in this one compared to Game Changers or Heated Rivalry. Of the 3 books that I've read so far, it took 150 some pages in before we got our really first spice scene in this book. I mean, there was a moment at the very beginning, but other than that, this book has mainly focused on character and the character's mental health and the things that he's kind of experiencing with his own sexuality. And so that has been what's been most enjoyable about this one. But once again, the one thing that's really bothering me with the series, this book has so many, just like the previous books, has so many grammatical errors, so many misspellings. There's words that are repeated like 6 times in a row. I just feel like this entire series was picked up. It's just so frustrating to see because, you know, at the end of the day, they could have just done the bare minimum of running a spell check. But that's my thoughts. But anyways, I am going to continue to finish this. finished Tough Guy by Rachel Reed, and I am going to be giving this one, I think, a 3.5 star. And like I've said, I'm really enjoying this series. I'm enjoying that these books are just so easy to read, that they're easy to pick up, and that they're kind of like a mood booster, or if I'm wanting a palate cleanser between really big books. And the one thing that I really enjoyed in Tough Guy that we didn't really see in Game Changers or Heated Rivalry was the really big focus on mental health. I definitely feel like Rachel Reed did a really great job at bringing that representation into a very tough sport. And also I just love how she handled really difficult topics that kind of came about in this book, which was really interesting for it being such a short book. But with that being said, I will say that Brian and Fabian weren't my most favorite couples of the 3 couples that I've read so far. I feel like at times they were really awkward and were almost too opposite of each other. I felt like they just didn't connect really well, and the things that Fabian would say sometimes I would be like, that's really cringy. But I am one step closer to being caught up with the series before the final book, I think it's the final book, releases in June or July. Now I am debating what next book I'm going to be picking up. We have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the second book in the Powerless trilogy. Or we have Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. This is the second book in the Secret of the Niles duology. I don't know which I'm going to pick up yet, so you're going to see in the next clip what I picked. Update on Reckless. So I am currently 214. Yes, I am currently 214 pages into Reckless, and it is giving second book syndrome severely, like terribly. I am just really frustrated with this book because here's the thing. I loved Powerless. I loved the action. I loved the chemistry between our characters. I loved the tension. I loved the trials. I loved this idea of a rebellion. I love this idea that there are ordinaries and elites. I loved everything about the first book, and then we got this. Nothing has happened. 200 pages of this book has been banter between Peyton and Kai, and that's it. We haven't had plot, and I love banter. I love banter in my books, but where's the plot? Where's the scenes? Where's the action? Where's this rebellion that we were given? Where is anything that's happened in Powerless? It's not here. This book is true second book syndrome. And not only that, the same scene has happened over and over and over again, but in a different area. I'm still enjoying the characters. Like, I love Peyton and Kai. I love their chemistry. I love their tension. I do love their banter, but it leaves for a story that's unsatisfying, and that's what I'm feeling right now, is I'm just feeling very unsatisfied. So we're gonna continue reading and hope that maybe the ending is going to give me like that wow factor that I'm looking for. So it's 7 p.m. out and it is still light out, which I am absolutely loving. 6 months ago at 7 p.m. it was like pitch black out because of the fact that the sun set at 4 p.m. and we were thrust into darkness for winter. And now we are finally getting more and more daylight as the day goes on, and I love that. But anyways, I'm here to give you a reading update because I did finish Reckless, and unfortunately I did give it a 3.25 star. I just can't get past the fact that this book is literally 95% banter, and the 5% that you think would be plot isn't really plot, it's just stuff. And I was just so disappointed because I felt like this book could have done so many wonderful things with not only like what happened in Powerless, but just in general the other things that are going on in this world. Reckless is an example of what I don't want in my romantasy. I want the romance, I'm fine with the romance, but also give me the plot, give me the fantasy, give me the story. That's what I want, and we definitely don't get that in Reckless, and I'm really disappointed because I loved Powerless so much. However, the ending of this does make me want to pick up Fearless, which is the third book in the trilogy, so we'll see. So I am going to be picking up Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. I am just really interested in to see where this is going to end, where this is going to go, especially with the ending that we got in What the River Knows. I was really intrigued. I was kind of excited to get into this one. I'm hoping I'm still going to be excited going through it and reading it. So I'm going to get into this. I'm going to see what my thoughts are and if I'm going to enjoy this just as much as I did with What the River Knows. Sorry for my disgusting appearance. I literally just came back from the gym. I have made it halfway through Where the Library Hides. I am about 145 pages in, and I have a huge pet peeve, like a massive pet peeve, and it is when a character who has gone through a lot of traumatic events and this character is lied to multiple times by multiple different people, but yet they continue to trust every single one of those people, and then they continue to get stabbed in the back, and then they continue to trust them, and then they continue to get stabbed in the back. That is Inez. She continues to trust so blindly, and it's driving me up a mother effing wall, because here's the thing. The same people continue to betray her over and over and over again, but yet she will ignore those signs and continue to be like, oh, you know, they lied to me before, they won't do it again. And then they do it again because they know they can get away with it with her. But yet at the same time, she'll sit there and she'll moan and she'll go, boo-hoo, why do people keep betraying me? Why do people keep abandoning me? And I'm like, girlfriend, it's because of the fact that you allow it. You allow them to get away with it. They are literally walking red flags, and you will literally blatantly ignore those red flags like she's a doormat. And I don't like characters like that. I like a character with a little bit of backbone. We're 150 pages in and nothing has happened. Things have happened, but nothing important. There's so many lies that are so blatant to us readers, but Inez kind of just ignores them. So I am a little frustrated. I'm a little annoyed with our main character, but I'm going to continue reading it. Hopefully it gets better. end of this reading vlog, and yes, I did finish Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. I have decided to give this one a 3.5 star. I really enjoyed it. I think this was such a wonderful wrap up to a really fun, adventurous, archaeological, historical, young adult fantasy, and it was really, and I did enjoy the romance and I did enjoy our characters and everything, but at the end of the day, I feel like the Inez that we got in the first book is a very different Inez than we got in the second book, and I just feel like a lot of things could have been avoided if she just didn't have this rose-tinted lens on the world and if she had a little bit more backbone behind her. But it was still really good, you know. At the end of it, she did have a lot of character growth, and the ending of this was really crazy. Like, I guessed one of the plots, but something else I definitely did not guess. So this duology definitely wrapped up really well. So to give a quick wrap up, I ended up completing one series and continuing 2 others. So we're one step closer in finishing the Game Changer series, we're one step closer in finishing the Powerless trilogy, and of course we completed out the duology for The Secret of the Niles. And there you have it. There is the first episode of me attempting to complete all the series that I'm in the middle of. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. In the comments below, let me know what series you think I should be picking up next or focusing on or prioritizing. If you liked this video and you like bookish and lifestyle content, definitely subscribe to my channel for more videos. I will see you in my next one. Bye!